Hey everybody, welcome to Big Human Dead. I
Dead.
am your co-host, Buddy Black.
Yes.
I think I decided that character's first name... Actually, I'm still on the fence about what that character's actual first name is.
Yeah?
Because Buddy is short for Junior.
Really?
We're not short, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah,
it's like
colloquial.
it's Junior
Yeah.
or Howard.
Okay.
So I can't decide. Still haven't decided yet, I guess, whether I'm Howard Black
Right.
or I'm John Black Jr.
All right.
John Black Jr. is a pretty bitchin' name.
That's pretty
actually.
hardcore.
I'm not gonna. Okay, I think I am your co-host, Buddy Black, aka John Black Jr.
Uh-huh.
And,
AKA Johnny Nightstick.
aka. And I guess that makes more sense
Yes.
with the Johnny with the nightstick.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess so. And with me is my good friend Rob Ayers.
Hello.
And probably the most, arguably the second most poignant, I guess, topic we're going to discuss today is just horror comics.
I thought you were talking about me for a second. Like, Rob Ayers, the maybe the second most poignant topic we're going to talk about tonight is
that would have been a much better topic to discuss.
How
tonight,
poinnt I am.
other than
just
how relevant you are to me and everyone.
How distinctly I actually exist.
Yeah,
is a undeniable
let's talk
fact.
about that. That's far too real
It's
for
true.
what we're doing here. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Okay, let's jackknife this back into the topic. I exist for comics, to be honest. That's
Okay.
like my gig. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And so tonight we're doing horror
Let's
comics.
just do it. We're gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do horror comic books.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the Band-Aid ripping off sound, by the way.
What? Do you have plastic flesh?
Yeah, that's not going to be any fun on the microphone, but that's but I don't care.
Yeah. You don't edit it.
That's how committed I am to the horror to the horror comic Band-Aid ripping off sound.
You're willing to sacrifice other people's.
Sorry,
yeah.
it's funny. One of my favorite things about comic books, period, are animal noises.
Okay.
And how animal noises are different all around the world.
Yes.
And you don't actually see that until it's written down.
It's true.
Like I think a sheep makes a E. It's just a bunch of E's.
Yeah.
In France.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's ba, in North America. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I was just at my German lesson. I think the last lesson, or maybe even anyway. Recently, we were talking about animal noises because of that. It's completely different here in Austria. When you write the sound a dog makes, it's very similar to the English with bow wow, but here it's bow bow, but it's spelled W-O-U or W-O. It starts with W-W. Wow. So it looks like wow, wow.
Did you raise your hand and tell them that they were wrong?
I actually flipped a table over and said,
good.
Said no.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. They've come to expect these kind of outbursts from me, and now I'm
it's just it's.
I went in the other day and they said your chair is over there now, and it was just a small kiddie chair with a little Play-Doh table in front of me, and everything was pushed away from me, so I can flip that motherfucker all night long.
Just in a safety pencil and a circle of paper.
Yeah.
Like just. Speaking of bank,
yes.
I've spent a fair amount of money on horror comics. How about you?
Yes, it's a nice one.
You like that? You like that segue? Yeah, it's great.
With every step we take, it's a little more graceful. Yes, I've spent a lot on horror comics, but not. Yeah, I never actually searched out horror comics as a child. I always wanted horror comics, and I was always fascinated by the idea of horror comics. But then whenever I was faced with the opportunity to have a comic book or to buy a comic book, I never searched out the horror. I always grabbed Captain America or the Avengers or Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But whenever I saw a horror comic in a friend's collection, I would instantly grab that, and I would just be so enamored with it. And I would think, where is this? Like, what world is this? Why don't I ever think of this?
Yeah, and I remember when we kind of first were talking about this, like, I think it was even a year ago, and we were talking about our favorite horror comics and whatever. Like I don't know, like when I was a kid, like I read comics all the time, but it wasn't any. Like I didn't. I think maybe when I was like 13 or 14, I started following Superman. Like I would buy every Superman book that came out,
right on.
Just because I always loved Superman.
Yeah.
But prior to that, it was just like whatever I got. Like, oh, that looks cool, I'll buy that.
Right. That was a big part of it too. Yeah.
If I went to a flea market and it's like, hey, here's a mystery bag of 10 comic books for $2, I would just buy it.
That's it. I wasn't so discerning back then.
Yeah. So, and I don't know, I think for the most part, I mean, other than like the Strange Tales and the Tales from the Crypt and all that stuff, like, I don't know, like at least a lot of the horror comics I read now, I wouldn't ever dream of just picking up an issue, just a random issue in the middle,
Totally.
and just going for it. I don't think So when we were kids, it just didn't seem like it was that big a deal.
It's true.
So
it didn't seem important to get one. But then when I saw one, I would love it. But it was never one that, it was always a friend's comic. Or sometimes it was a comic that I didn't actually know was a horror comic book. I just knew it was a comic book with some dark imagery in it. Like Swamp Thing was a big one for me. I never collected Swamp Thing, but I had a couple issues of Swamp Thing. And like it's a dark book, especially the old Len Wein issues with Bernie Wrightson artwork. Oh my, that guy can draw some crazy horrific things, but it's also kind of fun. And so when I flip through it, it's like, oh, this is awesome. I'll take this. And then one of the tent poles of my memories for horror comics is say what you will, but I never actually read them. I would just look at them. I would just pore over every page and study every panel. And it wouldn't be until the 16th time when I realized, oh, maybe I should read some of these words that I slapped on here. Because I was just so fascinated with the imagery that I didn't give a shit about what it said. And I was too young, and not like I was too young to read it. My brain was just too unformed to focus on whatever plot they decided to run through the images,
Yeah. And actually, it's kind of funny that you say that, because I was just even reading a couple of books the other day, and we were knowing that we were gonna talk about this, and I was just reading through them, whatever, and then I realized that after like the first page, I don't really look at the pictures.
Really?
Yeah, I just
so funny. I
just go through them, and like it isn't until like I read it the second or the third time where I'm actually going through and I'm like, doing everything. Yeah. It's just it's a stupid way to read a comic book, but yes, like that's
right on.
Yeah, but yeah.
The old EC books were really influential as well for me. That I think I don't know if I mentioned on the show before that my dad had a huge collection of Mad magazines, and in some of the old Mad magazines, they reprinted the old, like the original Mad magazines, where they were comic book shaped and comic book size. They were in color, and they had artwork from Wally Wood and there's the whole gang, Jack Davis and everybody. And from there, I recognized the old what is it, Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror, and these comic books, and I love them. And sometimes these were pretty horrific, but I didn't actually know it because, like I said, I never read the text. I just looked at the images, and the images were creepy. But then, like most of them just did a little Twilight Zone Rod Serling twist at the end. But then sometimes they would slap a spike at the end of their story that would actually be kind of disturbing.
There were a bunch that I read when I was really little that I remember them being pretty horrific.
Yeah.
And these were old, like these were already antiques by the time
Totally.
I was reading them for sure. And I guess that's where the whole comic book code sort of got born out of. Like,
yes,
the whole,
especially with the EC comics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What was it? It was the whole campaign and the book that the guy wrote. I even know his name. I knew his name. I know, but now that mics are hot, shit just pouring out of my head. Corruption of Youth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one story in particular that really just blew me away. I don't remember if it was Vault of Horror or if it was Tales from the Crypt, but there's one where this dapper guy is going out with this beautiful dame, and they're getting along famously, and she says, I have a secret I have to tell you, and she has her face wrapped up in bandages all the time, and she has a young body, but her face is always in bandages. And then he's like, I love you for who you are, and we get along so well, the personalities jive so well, we dig all the same music, blah blah blah. And then she says, okay, and, I feel like the love is strong enough, I can show you my face, and if I'm remembering this right. And then she unwraps her head, and she has an old woman's face. Like the skin is old and wrinkly.
Yeah.
And I might be butchering this story, but in my memory, this is how it is. But I know the punchline is that he doesn't believe that that's her real face.
Mm-hmm.
And so he grabs her face and tries to take this mask off of her. And she's like shouting like, no, it's my face. But he keeps pulling, and eventually he tears her face off of her head. And it's only once he has her face in his hands and she's just a bleeding skeletal face dying.
Yeah.
That he realizes, oh my God, you weren't joking. You weren't pulling my leg on this one, Sonny. And
that wasn't a comic book. I told you that's how my parents met.
That's right.
That's how my parents met. Yeah.
I get these things mixed up sometimes.
It's okay. No,
Confused.
It's totally fine. Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, I think both you and I are more or less on the same page for how our I don't know how our formative years, anyways, were for comic book ingestion.
Yeah.
But like once we got old enough to, actually, pants up and go out and buy our own horror books. Like what were some of the ones that you were really interested in?
I was interested in Constantine. That was a big one for me. I really enjoyed that one. Mm-hmm. I liked to go back and find issues of Swamp Thing. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And there was an old series from Marvel called Frankenstein's Monster.
Okay.
And it's not scary, really, but there were some cool horror moments. They would get kind of gothic, but it was set in the present day. And
well, you really like Frankenstein anyway,
I love
so it
Frankenstein's
probably wasn't a
it wasn't a stretch.
Probably wasn't a hard sell.
No, not by any means. And this monster, this incarnation of him, he wears this big furry 70s vest with some, I don't know, like some, I don't know if it was skinny like Beatles pants or what, but he had like brown leather work boots or Beatles boots.
Yeah.
And kind of he had a squarish head, but a little mop top on there.
Yeah.
And he was just this huge galoot with kind of googly eyes and a huge mouth. And, everywhere he went, there was terror, and they kept that part of the thing intact. Yeah. And he would help those in need, kind of like a big, just a big mascot of some kind, like a big 70s TV show character made of foam, rubber, and yarn,
Yeah.
And this was kind of a cool book because it was so goofy, the look of it. But then they tried to write it as a horror book, and that could be pretty interesting. But like as a grown up, once I finally started reaching grown up levels, I finally settled on Constantine. I really like the weird stuff, not so much the monster stuff, but the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And for you, what was your evolution?
I mean, I guess sort of like every teenager, like I read a bunch of Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
I read a bunch of Preacher. I kind of got really tired of that.
Yeah.
Like pretty quickly.
I
know
really
that
like
kind of
Preacher.
Preacher's like a little on the fence between just being sort of like,
Yeah.
I guess you kind of really don't know where to put it because like there are a lot of horror elements to it, but it's not really all that horrific.
What did you get tired of? I really dug that series.
I think the last book I ever read was the one where, the gang just went into a bar at something like 10 a.m. And they were sort of harassed by a couple of like good old boys, and then they just murdered all of them. Like they just killed the shit out of them.
Okay.
And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I thought these guys were I know there's really no good guy.
Right.
Because they're like, at that time, like every comic book hero was an anti-hero for the most part.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of have to root for these guys in a way. Like I have to care whether they're going to succeed or not. And these guys just straight up like murdered like 4 people.
I don't remember them murdering anyone in a bar.
Yeah. Oh, they just killed the shit out of them. And then the rest of the book kind of went on, whatever. And then the government landed on the beach, and they went and then took them off. And then after that, I was like, okay, I can't read this anymore.
Yeah. For bar patrons everywhere, I make a stand and boycott the Preacher.
Well, it's like this is just, I don't know. Like, I know that Enos has his own thing, and like he does his own thing well, I guess.
Yeah,
but
when
like,
he gets on a like a brutality cascade, he can really
he's really good at
roll himself up in it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I really, really liked Hellboy.
That's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
Mike Mignola really, his stuff is so tight with that.
Yeah, and I was gonna say like less so his actual sort of like sequential storylines so much as what I prefer is like the little folk stories that he'll tell, like
those are cool.
the chain coffin and all of that stuff, where he just does these little folk stories and then just like inserts Hellboy in there. I think it's like that shit is right up my alley.
Yeah, those are cool.
I really, really liked like the little Hellboy shorts.
Yeah,
so cool.
Those are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Black Hole is incredible.
That's I think it's my favorite.
We can all agree. Yeah.
That's I have to say that's my favorite horror comic, I think.
Yeah.
That one is just it's too insane. It's told so directly and so matter of factly, and like it's just a teenager's diary, almost, and it just makes it horrifying in how cleanly it's delivered, even with the artwork. Like Charles Burns, he's just a master.
Yeah, I was like, as we were sort of preparing this, as I was preparing to do this, I was talking to my wife a little bit about it, and I'm like, I had the Black Hole on my iPad, and I was sort of reading through a couple of issues again.
Yeah.
And I turned and I said, like, you should really read this. Like, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And she's like, what's so good about it? I'm like, I guess because the artwork sort of looks like an Archie comic.
Yeah, a little bit. I think,
like, yeah, and I know that I said that I don't really like look at the pictures all that much, but with Black Hole, it was kind of hard not to.
Yeah.
Because like everything in that book is just done so freaking well.
Yeah.
Like it's so good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really like the disease itself that mutates the people. That's not even the horror part. I think maybe that's why it makes it so horrifying and so good, is that the mutation or the ugly part of it. That's just something that happens in the book, but it's how it everyone reacts to it or affects their life and how their lives change because of it. Then because he focused on that, which is something we can all relate to. Yeah. And he did it so well without sensationalism. And then it's really like, ugh, if that were me, it's over. Or what would I do? I don't know. And that's really like a whole book. Every page is, what would I do? What would I do?
Yeah.
What would I do? Yeah, that one's incredible.
Really good book and a really great story, for sure.
Another series that I really enjoyed that was similar. It's not, I think it's not labeled as horror by any means, but it has this thing of the situational character madness. Is Stray Bullets from David Lapham.
I read the first couple of issues of that. It's not because I wasn't interested. I didn't have the cash to do whatever.
Fair enough.
Really, really awesome.
Yeah, I love this series, and it's the same thing. It's really, the title of the book itself is perfect. It says it all. Just stray bullets. Just like you're in a situation, and then suddenly, because of things you cannot control or ever foresee, something horrible happens in your world, and you don't know why. You'll never know why. You just have to deal with it now. And he does it so effortlessly with this, what would you do kind of mentality. That I think that's a book where I was kind of horrified when I read it.
Yeah.
On a intellectual and emotional level, like, oh, if that were me, forget it.
I think we should probably get to the elephant in the room, we may as well.
Yeah.
Like, as long as we're sort of like, volleying back and forth like this.
Right.
Let's just talk about The Walking Dead real fast.
All right.
I think that's probably... I know that you and I have a divide on this, for sure.
This is one of my favorite books ever. It's so good. It's Black Hole is number 1. And number 2, Stray Bullets. Number 3, it's The Walking Dead. This book is so tight. I think Robert Kirkman is so good at putting the drama and the character-driven stuff just right on Front Street, and that he doesn't make it clean at all. And it's like this person who's the star of this particular arc is a bully, and he's just doing whatever he thinks is right, and it's not the right thing, but that's what he thinks is right, and he has the gun and the muscle and the will. So that's it. And I think I really dig that. It's a stressful book.
I won't deny that, read, because I haven't read all of it. I think I've read the first trade and then a little bit more after that. Okay. But I'm more familiar with the television show, and before anyone flips out, like I know the differences between the two. Yeah. I'm not saying that they're the same thing, whatever.
Right.
The pacing in the comic is too fast for my liking.
Okay.
And the pacing in the show is way too slow for my liking.
Okay.
And if they could have married that somehow, that would have been okay.
Okay.
But sorry, I lost track of what I was going to say. What I was going to say, when I read, as I was reading the comic, there were portions that actually made me jump or hold my breath or whatever it was. And, anything that makes me do that, I'm really appreciative of.
Yeah.
But, however, as I was reading, the first trade in a little bit, it was everything was just happening so freaking fast.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like they probably could have taken more time with the atmosphere rather than just like, you know, like zombie, which is like, yeah, that was. But that's just, I guess that's just preference. I don't know.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the book. Like,
No, I dig it.
It's
I
okay.
like it. Like I kind of like the pace that it takes, because then it just rushes you through as if you just woke up and this is the world now, and there's no time to focus on that. And like later on in the series, he does slow down and decompress things, and then he ramps it back up again. Yeah. And the cool thing with The Walking Dead, I think, I don't know, I really liked it right from the beginning. And the more I read, the longer it goes, the more I like it. Robert Kirkman and Charlie Adler being the only people on it, really, somehow it really keeps everything so consistent that like there's no way I could ever turn my back on The Walking Dead now, as the book itself. And I do, and I really like the series as well. I think it's a cool series, but the book, like I'm mental for the book, and I don't know, maybe there are flaws, but I wonder if maybe I just feel like I've invested so much time with it that and it's been so long that it's almost like it's almost about to graduate into nostalgia, because it's been around for a while now. And I've been with it every time a new one comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. I will admit that I am underprepared. I mean, like, at least in comparison to you, to talk about the comic book, you know, whatever. But
you sloppy, lazy motherfucker. I mean, there's only like over 100 issues. So
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
You had all weekend.
I know. But the I don't know, the thing that I was going to say was I think it also might have something to do with, especially since I started reading it kind of recently, the whole zombie kind of explosion thing that's happened, and like the Walking Dead television series kind of being one of the all-star players in the zombie sort of pop culture explosion. I'm already a little tired of the bullshit.
Yeah, you're a rebel.
Before
you don't ride on any bandwagons.
Before I've got into it. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying.
You slash the tires of bandwagons as they roll by. You flick your match on them as you light your cigarette and walk away.
I generally tend to avoid things that are popular just because I feel like I don't need to know if they're good or not. It's like we've all decided that this is good. Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys watch your South Park. I'll do something else. If it's any good, I'll tell you about it. Right on. You know, like, and that's In
the pop culture world, you're a lone wolf looking for trouble.
That's John Nightstick.
Yeah, you're John Nightstick looking for a homeless man in an alley.
Who really enjoys the Avengers movies, I guess. And Club, Bang, Bang. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
One more comic I wanted to mention that isn't quite horror, but did horrify me, and I don't know if you've heard of it, called Ed the Happy Clown.
No.
This is kind of I don't know what you would call it. It's a kind of a super independent comic about a small guy who is a clown, is Ed, but he's not happy at all. So, I mean, the title is a little misleading. It's a bit of a lie. He's not happy in the least. Yeah. And all these.
I don't know why you would read anymore. Like, as soon as you read, soon as you open, it's like, well, you know. Yeah. That's a lie.
Flip another fucking table.
Yeah.
And these crazy things happen to him. Like, for example, there's another dimension, and this dimension, there's just poop. There's poop everywhere in this other dimension. And it's impossibly huge piles of poop everywhere. And so the president and his right-hand man, they commission or have built a giant machine that will push all of this poop into another dimension. And it's like this giant funnel that they can put all the poop in, and it just funnels right out into this small dimensional hole. And so they have this grand opening, and all the people rejoice, and yeah, you're the best. And they do the big opening, and they start putting the poop down there, and it's great. It's a really wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But then there's another character. I don't think it's Ed. No, it's not Ed the Happy Clown, but another character. Suddenly, he's pooping. He's pooping so much, and he can't stop. That's it. He's the man who couldn't poop. That's like the subtitle to his chapter. The man who couldn't stop. And he starts pooping, which means like his butthole is the dimensional portal to this other dimension. Mm-hmm. And then the president falls into the funnel, into the funnel where they're putting all the poop, and his head plugs up the hole, but his head doesn't come out of the guy's butt, but it ends up being the head of Ed's member. And so it's just this completely abstract but still linear thing. And and then there's other subplots of Joseph, Jesus's pop, getting visited, I think, or taken by aliens after he masturbates or something. It's clear that the writer had a few issues he was working through.
Yeah, I get. And before you ruin the story for everyone,
too late.
Yeah, I might check that out. Yeah, I might. We'll see.
It's a pity. I'm sorry if you're listening, but I don't remember your name. If you're the one who wrote it and drew it. The Happy Clown.
Well, we can look it up.
Yeah,
we can look it. Yeah, we'll look it up.
It's for mature audiences only, I believe.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's really for mature audiences.
You would think not with that kind of content, but still.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. No, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun.
Yes.
Something that I forgot as I was sort of zoning out while you were just talking about poop for like a good 90 seconds was Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
This I loved. I really enjoyed this. Yeah.
It was really, really funny.
Yes.
I think I just bought, I don't know, like the first 6 or the first 12 just one day because I was really into them, and I just bought them and took them home.
Yeah.
And like I read all of them, and I'm like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Like I don't need any more. Like that's
right.
Like,
it's perfect the way it is.
I don't need any more than that.
Yeah.
It's only going to be But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
That was pretty cool.
That.
Like that was really fresh when it came out. That was something completely different. And it was like I feel like that was the first glimpse or the first incarnation of a lot of the humor and style that we have in cartoons, in modern cartoons, and in these new, what would you call them, like super surreal or absurd or abstract comics. Like that Jonan Vasquez, he was maybe I'm saying his name wrong, but it's fine.
I don't know, yeah.
But he was the kind of the progenitor of all this with Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah.
And it was tight and it was fast and it was really, I really dug it. I had never read or seen anything like that before. And now, even now, what was that? That was like 1999?
Was a long time ago.
Yeah, 1998. It's still so prevalent that I'll see a commercial or an ad or something like that for one of these, subculture kind of things. And I think, oh, is that a new Vasquez joint? No, it's not. It's just another person who was influenced by it and has ran with it.
Yeah, it was 1995. It was actually 20 years ago.
95?
Yeah.
Good grief. I was a few years slow on the draw. I saw it the first time at 98, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was, I don't know, it was very kind of, I'm going to get really pretentious, but like sort of like a post-grunge kind of nihilist vibe to it.
Fair
that
enough.
Really resonated with a lot of people of that time, I guess.
I was one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's I have a little game, a
All
little
right.
bit that we can do if you want to do that.
Finally, we get to have some fun.
I know. Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Hit me with
Okay.
it. What kind of clever shit do you got for me?
Okay, just some sort of basic comic book trivia.
Okay.
Like just some basic kind of comic book questions.
I'm ready. I have
comic
read
book trivia.
an embarrassing amount of so many comics. Like I've really like gone back and read huge catalogs of the Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, Wolverine. I'm kind of a Marvel man. Like make mine Marvel. And so but I've also gone back and read the entire history of Batman, Superman, The Flash, Green Lantern. Like I'm crazy for comics. Like and I've gone back. I've had friends when Marvel and DC got on this thing with the DVDs of like republishing the entire run from issue 0 to now on DVD. That I had a friend who just got these. They bought them whenever they came out, and I went crazy. And I really have so much history of almost of every mainstream character in my head that I think I'm ready for anything you hit me with. Unless it's all bled together, because that's a big problem. I'll be talking with a friend or a stranger, and they'll say something, and really there's so many comics in my memory banks, a lot of it is bled together. So if I'm awesome, it's because I'm awesome. And if I'm not, it's because I'm even more awesome than you think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I know you're a big Daredevil fan.
Yes.
So let's start out with like a fairly simple Daredevil question.
All right.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Daredevil received a 6% commission on the selling price of a house that he sold. If his commission was $8,880, what was the selling price of the house?
What was the 6%?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I know my Daredevil right, then the selling price was probably around $300,000, give or take a shed in the backyard.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
Oh, okay.
The selling price of the house would have been $148,000.
Oh,
roughly.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was... Okay. I have to readjust the hard drives here in my head. I'm ready. I think I'm ready for the next one.
Okay. So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have small toys.
Yes.
Leonardo has 1/10 of the toys. Donatello has 10 more toys than Leonardo. Michelangelo has one more toy than Leonardo does. And Raphael has double the amount that Michelangelo does. How many toys do they have?
15.
Where did I even...
Don't try to fool me with this, because I know my Ninja Turtles.
I'm trying to remember.
Eastman and Laird. I was with them from the very beginning, but I love the Eastman and Laird books. I even had a huge sack full of the toys. So, and the cartoon, Teenage Mutant Ninja. So 15 toys, obviously.
Actually, if you remember issue 111, it's actually 30 toys. They have 30 toys.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, my extensive knowledge of all these comics is not helping me as much as I thought with this questionnaire.
Yeah. And okay, so next one. What's Cyclops' real name?
Scott Summers.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yes, I knew it. Fuck yes.
So yeah, there you go.
All right.
Good. Yeah, and last one. So Wolverine's motorcycle, its front wheel makes 3,000 revolutions per minute.
Okay.
How many degrees does it rotate in 1 second?
It rotates like 100.
I'm talking about the original.
119
talking about
times?
the original X-Men, not Ultimate X-Men.
Oh, okay. Then like 140 times.
No.
Oh shit.
No.
How many times?
It's 18,000.
18,000. Are you sure
Yeah.
you're not thinking of like when he was going by Patch Logan?
No.
And he wore
So
the
it's-
blank tank top with the eye patch.
It's 3,000 revolutions per minute.
Uh-huh.
How many degrees does it rotate in 1 second?
Oh yeah, like
Is 18,000.
oh okay.
Yeah.
I need to go back and do some reading.
Yeah. You know, it would
Clearly.
be. Yeah. I mean.
Clearly, I look the
I'm not-
fool now after all my
I-
boisterous bragging.
I'm not as big a comic book sort of like fanatic as you are, but
Right.
I did know that, which
fuck.
is, you know,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
color me red.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That was a good test.
Yeah, I think, you know, a little kind of lesser known
Yeah.
comic book trivia for the Boyles and the Ghouls
Right on.
out there. I think that was nice. You know.
Well, you have some clever questions for me. I was also thinking of something that might be fun to just jibber jabber about.
I feel like you put more work into your questions than I did.
Me?
So I'm excited for this.
Well, we shall see. But first, before we get into that, I wanted to ask you about another really awesome horror comic.
Okay.
But it's more fun, kind of like what we were talking about with like Frankenstein's monster and what did we talk? The EC comics. That it's not like pure horror. It's Hack Slash. Have you ever read any of Hack Slash? This book is great. Tim Seeley just knocks it out of the park with this one.
I don't know if I have. I don't think I have.
It's super tight.
I've definitely heard of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's really cool. It's all the tropes from every genre of horror. And it starts off mainly with 80s horror. But he just quickly burns through 80s and into 90s and new horror and foreign horror. And he just takes every trope and stereotype and cliche and kitsch, anything that stuck out in his mind. And I think he must be our age, and he must have soaked up as much horror as we have, and he just shoves it into his book Hack Slash. And it's about this young pretty woman, and Cassandra, I think her name is, and she is partnered up with a huge slasher monster, like unkillable slasher, but he's on her side, and they just get into all these misadventures. Hilarity ensues, and it's always just horror based, and it's really good.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
This one's really fun. Speaking of fighting monsters and horror tropes,
nice.
Thank you. Seamless. This one adjective that I think is probably bandied about often with our show. Seamless is what they are. I have a few bouts that I would like to throw at you and see who you think would win in a few fights.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
First up, Aquaman.
Yep.
Versus Alligator from John Sayles' movie Alligator.
I know that Aquaman has got a lot of hate, especially in like the last bunch of years, but that dude can throw down in like the correct environment.
It's true.
Like I really, really think that Aquaman could. I kind of wish they had done like, of all of the aquatic superheroes, or of the two main aquatic superheroes, I should say, between Aquaman and Namor.
Yeah.
Like, Marvel did a really, really good job of making Namor the baddest motherfucker of the ocean.
Almost unlikable for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Like, just a huge prick.
Yeah.
But...
And why wouldn't he be? He's ruler of.
He rules he rules most of the
Earth.
Yeah. And Aquaman's just kind of a
Dude.
I don't know, just kind of a like the shittiest member of the Justice League.
Right. And unnecessarily. There's no reason he should be the shittiest one.
Yeah.
But
so no, I would give it to Aquaman. I would absolutely give it to Aquaman. I think, if it was like Aquaman and like kind of maybe anybody like on land, Aquaman's super strong, but like he can't do most of the stuff that he's good at.
Right.
Unless he's in the water.
Yeah.
But in this case, I would absolutely give it to Aquaman, 100%.
You almost had it. He would get close to beating the alligator, but like you said, he would have to enlist a little help at the very end from Robert Forster at the end because, Robert Forster is Robert Forster.
Yeah.
And only he could really take care of business like Robert Forster can.
Okay, so like there is a right and a wrong answer to these questions.
It's true.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
But so when you were close, like I'll give it to you. You were close enough because you mentioned the right elements, but it's in. So it would be like a Robert Forster Aquaman team up.
Yeah, which we should write that book.
Hell yeah, that would be so bitchin'.
That would be pretty cool.
Okay, next up, X-Men's The Beast versus the. What kind of nonsense did I write here? Oh. William Hurt from Altered States in his monkey form. Yeah. Both scientists.
I'm going to go with the Beast.
Yeah.
I feel like he's maybe a little bit more... He has a better grasp on his physical abilities than William Hurt, R.E. Altered States.
You're correct. In that fight, that was actually a little publicized fight. For good reason. Everyone thought the Beast is just going to tear this little monkey man apart. And that's exactly what happened. It was absolutely repulsive. Yeah. Nobody walked out of that stadium feeling good about themselves after witnessing that.
It was a slaughter.
Yes.
It was a massacre.
Yes. Yeah. It was. Yeah. Next up, Plastic Man versus John Carpenter's The Thing.
Fuck Plastic Man.
Wow. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. At the risk of sounding, I don't know, at the risk of being unpopular, Plastic Man is probably one of my least favorite characters in all of fiction.
That's racist.
The Thing would kick his ass. What are you talking about?
It's true. The Thing wins every fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even he even the Thing even went up against Kurt Russell and his beard. And in the end, Kurt Russell was just chilling out in the snow with no home to sit in and a bottle of J&B. So, I mean, that's it was like, if you can push Kurt Russell to a stalemate, what chance does anyone else have of actually winning?
I think it would be really just based on your description of how the Thing ends. Yeah. I think it would be interesting to write an essay discussing the similarities between John Carpenter's The Thing and the opening theme from the Flintstones.
I love it.
All right. Anyways, next yes or no question or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Doctor Strange versus Leprechaun.
I want to say Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Because Leprechaun is malicious and he'll do some shit to you.
Yeah.
I know that you don't like Leprechaun.
But I do respect his power.
Okay, I'm going to go with Leprechaun then.
It's false. Doctor Strange just absolutely, just ruins this guy. He ruins this weird little creature. He just like snaps his fingers, pops him into another dimension where there's just unspeakable horrors that just rip him apart. And Doctor Strange just goes to that dimension, puts him back together, pops him into another one, which is just more horrors. It's really embarrassing how easy and awful this fight is.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Just how quickly this goes down.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next, the Atom versus Puppet Master. This one, I looked up just for you because I know you are a fan of the Puppet Master and Demonic Toys and Doll Man series.
I like my Full Moon.
Yeah.
I do. I can't remember. I'm 99% sure that I've seen all of the Puppet Master movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they just kill for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I might even go with the Atom on this.
Really?
Because unless the Puppet the Puppet Master toys, dolls, puppets, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I don't know why I had so much trouble with that. But I guess unless the Puppet Master puppets have a reason to attack the Atom, which I don't understand why they would.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Atom.
You were on the right track when you started. It's true.
Okay.
The Puppet Master toys, they don't kill for no reason. They always have some kind of motivation or that they think is right. And so if they feel that the Atom needs to go down, they are some tenacious motherfuckers. And they don't stop until the Atom is dead. So, yeah, the Puppet Master toys win.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
These all sound like really good comic books, by the way.
It's true. I kind of want to read all of these. Next, Nick Fury versus Alien. Like the Alien from Ridley Scott's Alien.
Alien. Because Nick Fury would just yell at it and try to shoot it. Like the whole scenario would go down in probably like, I don't know, like 20 seconds would be the extent of the conflict. Like there'd be no hiding behind the wall, like trying to control your breathing until you can get like a better vantage on this.
Yeah.
Nick Fury would stand there and shoot at the Queen until the Queen just got up to him and then just fucked him right up. That's how it would go down.
You would think so, but actually, Nick Fury wins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you forgot one important factor.
Okay.
Nick Fury is Nick Fury. And he's also grizzled. Don't ever underestimate the grizzled factor. This guy is a super spy who, in the early books, never took the cigar out of his mouth. You can smell a cigar from like 3 blocks away. And he's so badass and so good at being a spy and badass that he doesn't care that you can smell him coming.
Do you remember David Hasselhoff is Nick Fury?
Yes, I do.
I watched that because, I don't want to say live, but like I saw that on television when it came on, and I was just
so weird,
gobsmacked.
Yeah,
like as I'm just watching,
too crazy.
Just way too much. Like, and at the beginning of the very beginning of the episode in the series, we meet Nick Fury, who's in Alaska in like a bunker, just hitting a concrete wall with a pickaxe, for no reason, no reason whatsoever, and then he just gets a phone call, so he goes outside and he takes it, and that's what we know about Nicholas Fury. It's
such a ridiculous movie, but I have to say they were not so far off the mark from collating all the old Nick Fury stories.
I think it was supposed to be a television show though. Like it was a 2-hour
it
was like a 2-hour pilot.
Okay.
But like it was supposed to be
insane.
Like God. And then there was was it Generation X? Do you remember that show?
Yeah, I did. I never saw the show, but I know that they did that.
It actually wasn't too bad.
No?
I think they did a couple of episodes. I actually really quite liked them. They were.
I like that comic book as well. That comic actually had some horror elements in there. Like it had these young mutants that were just fucked.
Yeah.
And Yeah,
and like none of their powers were really all that. Like every one of their powers kind of had like a shitty, kind of a shitty side to it.
It was more of a
like
hindrance than anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
okay, next up.
Next question.
The Fantastic Four versus the evil from the Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Not so much the Deadites, but more the evil from Evil Dead 1 and 2.
Can the Thing... I don't think the Thing bleeds.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think he doesn't... Like, he doesn't really... Like, I'm sure he can die, but I think it would take, like, really all the Dead have going for them.
Right.
Actually, you know what? But Hank Grimm, he's a softie on the inside, and I think he would fall for something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, though? I'm going to go with... the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Because I have the feeling that Johnny Storm, after everyone eats it, he's totally cool with just being on fire and just fucking everything up. Like I think the Fantastic Four will win. However, I believe that Johnny Storm will be the only survivor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's super close. It's actually a tie. Like they are still fighting.
Oh, it's actually a tie.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's still
currently
going on. Yeah, currently.
Oh, wow.
After I think that fight's been going on for about 11 years or so. It's rough. Like obviously they've slowed down a bit, but it's true. You know.
How do they eat?
Yeah, they just pick up something on the way.
I guess that's just one of the questions.
Yeah, they stop at Starbucks and grab a scone once in a while.
Well, I guess Mr. Fantastic could actually reach his arms out and sort of get whatever he needed to get and bring it back.
Yeah, but you're right about Ben Grimm. He falls for every stupid trick that the evil lays
stupid goddamn trick.
That's really why the fight has gone on so long. It's because Ben Grimm falls for every trick, and Reed, Sue, and Johnny just spend the next 2 months trying to convince him and fix whatever damage is done, blah blah blah, and then they have to run from the evil again. Yeah, it's really it's just a parade of errors, really.
By the time the 80s was over, like I was still only single digits. Like, you know, I was born in 1982. By the time the 80s were completely over, like I'm still a kid.
Yeah.
And like, you know, growing up a little bit more and then like watching a bunch of horror movies from the 80s, it just sort of like and obviously it wasn't the case, but it just like when I watched the movie from the 80s, I just sort of assumed that everybody was just like really naive and stupid and just sort of fell for everything.
Yes.
You know, like
I
no
felt
matter
that
what.
way too.
Like, yeah.
I'm a few years older than you. I think I was when the 80s finally put itself out of its misery and died just from the march of time. Mm-hmm. I was 13? Yeah. In 1990, I turned 13. Mm-hmm. And so I was, with my pubescent mind, I was able to say farewell.
Yeah.
And fuck off.
But I just watched the Evil Dead, or just Evil Dead, like the new movie last night.
Oh, yeah.
And I found it really unbelievable. There were a couple of things that I was like, you know what, like everybody, and it's been happening a couple of times in a bunch of movies that I've saw. It was on an episode of Walking Dead I was watching the other day where they just cut a dude's leg off and it's like, we just got like put some cloth on there, like it'll be fine. It's like a lot of people lose limbs in that movie and they don't just pass out. Like there was just I know it's a movie, but there was some stuff. The other thing in that movie that I just didn't buy is like these are young people nowadays.
Right.
And I just kind of feel like they're smarter than like the people in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where it's like don't fall for it. It's a trick. It's like you would feel like you only needed to know that once. Like you wouldn't continue to fall for the same trick.
Yeah.
For the entire movie. Yeah, I didn't buy it.
I loved it.
I know it's a movie. I know it's a movie. But still,
good.
Yeah.
It's good that you recognize that.
About halfway through, I realized that it was just a movie. Yeah.
Amanda, he's gonna die. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that he can't do that. No, I
feel so powerless.
Yes. I love the Evil Dead movie. I think it's so much fun, and I think it's so fun and brutal. I think that they found a pretty good balance of the stupidity of quasi-likable characters. They're relatable enough to where I can like them, but I don't have to expect more of them when they do stupid things. And yeah, I think it walked a pretty tight line between the 80s ridiculousness and the new visceralness that we come to expect to fuel ourselves to make it through.
I guess like they weren't I don't know. Like they didn't do stupid things though. Like the one guy did a stupid thing, and he there's a garbage bag wrapped in barbed wire.
Yes.
Honestly, there could have been $1 million in there, and I wouldn't have opened it.
Really?
Like, no, of course not. No.
That's what Cassia said. When we were watching it the first time, she goes, "Why would he do that? Why would anyone do that?" And I was thinking, I would have to know what's in there.
It's got barbed. I might take it with me.
Yes.
But like I would just like I would get there and I would be like, well, it's obviously someone's broken in.
Right.
Like this is, like this is like as opposed to the original movies where like they were essentially squatting.
Yeah.
Or
were they on a holiday or squatting? Back in the 80s, it was hard to
it was really hard to tell. Yeah. But anyways, and yeah, like and then you found I'll go snooping. Like it's one thing. It's like
right. Hey, I found a tape recorder.
This is my cabin, and there's like the stench of death is coming from the basement.
Yeah. And
there's a shotgun and a thing wrapped in a garbage bag and bound with barbed wire. No. I'm not gonna. Oh my god! I'm calling the police.
You're crazy. Okay. Yeah. Maybe the police would be. That's a good point. Maybe the police might get involved.
Yeah.
However reluctantly I would be to call them.
And that's the thing. I don't know. I know that, and this is the thing about remakes, is that it has to open itself up to comparison. Like you have to compare the two because they could have made any fucking movie they wanted, but they had to remake one of my favorite movies of all time.
If they didn't want a comparison, they would have named it
anything else.
Yeah.
Literally anything else. I mean, other than, I don't know, like another pre-existing horror movie. But yeah, anyways, yes. But none of the people that got killed did anything. Like the girl who was like she was just standing in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then she cut her own face off.
Right.
She didn't like Bobby Joe it and go running.
Yeah.
Like she didn't like let's split up and then everyone kind of gets goosed wherever they are.
Right.
She was standing there.
I like that. I think that was kind of cool. That was one of the things that I felt they updated. Like, what would actually happen? What would a super mediocre, normal, average person do in this situation? Like someone who is not trained in the ways of horror movies would probably just stand there agape until the evil just suddenly bashed into their brain, took them over, and fucked them up.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to tell you what would happen.
Yeah.
Leave.
Yeah, but it was it was raining pretty hard.
Come on. Like it's not like Evil Dead 2 where just the path just got swallowed up by the trees or like the bridge is destroyed. It's just it's raining really hard. Like I don't want to.
No, didn't Ashley ruin she wrecked the car by then?
Yeah, there was another car. There was the Jeep. And that's how she tried to escape at the end.
Jeeps are notorious for flipping over or being unreliable in some situations.
Yeah, granted. But like as soon as like the girl who we are helping to detox.
Yeah.
And it says at the beginning of the movie that she's already done this once and she fucked up.
Right.
Like as soon as she like lifts the shotgun and shoots her brother, I would have said, "I'm out of here."
So
like,
her fucking up,
I'm leaving. Yeah.
Her reneging on her first 5 detoxes. Does that make it easier for you to just say, fuck it, let's try this again next month, okay?
Of course.
Go.
Yeah, it's just this isn't gonna stick. And she even that character even says it at the beginning of the movie. It's like, we did this already. It lasted like all of 8 months.
Okay. So
it says from the beginning it's probably not gonna work.
Project.
Yeah,
start
forget
over.
It. Fuck this. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Not gonna happen. I'm not staying here for a week.
Yeah.
If this is all that's happening the first day.
Well, you remember that when we go to the cabin to help you with your fruit roll-up addiction again, and I just say, fuck it. I want some Pop-Tarts. I'm going into town.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll remember that.
All right.
So and you remember that I'll just flip out and try to murder you and expect you to stay. How does that sound?
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes down.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the fights.
Okay. Okay.
We have, let's just burn through a few of these real quick. They're pretty easy. Catwoman versus Hannibal Lecter.
Did you say Pac-Woman?
No.
You mean Mrs. Pac-Man?
Yes, Mrs. Pac-Man versus Hannibal Lecter. No, Catwoman.
Oh, Catwoman.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I answer the Mrs. Pac-Man versus Hannibal Lecter?
Of course.
Hannibal Lecter would
You're
probably win that one.
He wins the hell out of that one. She's just waddling around trying to turn around and find him, and he just stabs her relentlessly in the back of the head.
I guess we'll never know if like the Pac family can die by anything other than ghosts.
Yeah, I wonder.
Like we'll have to figure that out eventually. Yeah. So Catwoman versus Hannibal Lecter?
Yes.
Catwoman wouldn't put up with his shit.
Surprisingly, she does. They fall in love and they run away together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like doesn't seem like something Catwoman would do.
Surprised us all.
I feel like she might be playing the long game on that one.
Yes, maybe.
Like maybe he's got some money or something.
Clearly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like 30 years down the road, he's sitting there just in his rocking chair.
Yeah.
And she just comes up and just slices him from sternum to crotch.
I like to think that they actually started, like they joined forces and it's like, okay, so I'll break into the museum and steal the diamond. Mm-hmm. You kill and eat the guard. like that's not.
Yeah, and he's just like, got it.
It's foolproof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Foolproof. I'm on it. Next up,
all right.
The Punisher versus the Overlook Hotel from The Shining.
The hotel.
Yes,
clearly. The Punisher is.
It's a fucking hotel.
They have sort of reinvented the Punisher numerous times.
Yeah.
And the one consistent thing, like even more so than the costume and the guns even, because he became an angel for a little bit there. That was really weird.
Uh-huh.
But the one consistent thing was that the Punisher has always been hanging on by a thread.
What?
Like, just at any moment, it's over, and he's just completely batshit crazy.
Now that you mention it, I look back on the comics, and I think you might have something. Yeah, he's totally been like the most unstable character in mainstream comics. It's insane.
I think that the Punisher would last all of 5 minutes in the Overlook Hotel. Like
he might lose his shit on the drive, just driving up to the place in the driveway.
The hotel would actually feel ashamed of itself afterwards. Like,
right?
I didn't know he was going to break so fast. Yeah. All I did was just open a door.
Yeah.
Without. He didn't touch it. I just, the fire hose just fell off the wall, and he just went nuts.
It wasn't even me. I didn't even knock the hose off.
I didn't do anything. It was the wind.
I was still waking up. Yeah. I was just waking up, and next thing you know, there's a fucking gun-toting psycho just believing everything I haven't even told him. He's talking to painted pictures. He's talking to photographs, and I didn't even make him talk yet. Yeah, that'd be a bad one. Overlook Hotel, 1-0.
Yeah.
Spider-Man versus Brundlefly.
Who's Brundlefly again?
From the Fly. It's Seth Brundle.
Yeah. I'll say Spider-Man. He usually gets himself out of situations like that. I kind of like, like Lizard, like the Brundlefly might just even be a combination of Lizard and Vulture. And Spider-Man has taken on both of them at once. I'm just making this up. I'm sure it's happened before.
It's true. But like Seth said, you never hear about insect politicians. It's because they're so brutal. There's no compromise.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And I guess by that logic, Spider-Man's an arachnid. So, like, there's no...
He's a dude that got bit by an arachnid.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay. No, you're right.
Green Lantern versus Chop Top.
Green Lantern would smoke his ass. What are you talking about?
Absolutely not.
What?
Yeah. Because, I'll tell you why. Like, all the money was put on Green Lantern. Because, the dude's been flying around space. He's fought numerous unimaginable foes and terrors. But the ring, the ring of power, it runs on willpower. It's essentially it's only willpower that powers this thing. And he comes against Chop Top. They step in the ring together. Chop Top, he has no clue that he's supposed to lose this fight. And his willpower, Chop Top's willpower just to stay alive after all this time, after all these things he's been through, the ring really just popped off of Green Lantern's hand, off of Hal Jordan's hand, and just cozied up to Chop Top like a little kitten.
But Chop Top, like, one of his only tics was he was afraid of something in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Wasn't he afraid of, like, electricity or something like that?
I don't think so.
I think he was, one of his tics, he was, like, afraid of something stupid. I can't remember what it was.
He was afraid of having his wig ruined.
That's true.
As long as...
So by that logic, he would not be worthy of the ring.
Okay, well, we can talk to the judges again. See if maybe they can
all right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All right, Thor versus Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger won.
Okay.
Sorry. Right. I'm just gonna blaze through these and then the last.
Okay. Yeah.
I
won't answer. Yeah.
Hawkman versus Ghoulies. The Ghoulies won.
Okay.
The Walking Dead characters, the Walking Dead core family from the comic book versus Critters. Critters just tore them a motherfucking new one. It was
Critters always win. Yeah.
Wonder Woman versus Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman won.
Yeah, that's not really a question.
Yeah. Conan versus the robot from Hardware. You remember that movie? It's almost a horror movie. It's almost a science fiction movie. It's kind of like a hybrid of both. Okay. Conan wins. I mean, he has no time
Conan
for
wins.
This kind of nonsense.
You can't put up with that shit. No.
Yeah. The Flash versus Candyman. Flash wins.
Yep.
Daredevil versus Pennywise from It.
Yeah, Pennywise would kick his ass.
It's true. You got that one.
Yeah.
And I love Daredevil. He's number one, but Pennywise really, really messed him up pretty bad.
I don't think there would be a question there. Yeah. Anyways,
Iron Man versus Jason Voorhees.
I'm not allowed to answer.
Oh, sorry. That's right.
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees won.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Teen Titans versus the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually more of a comedy than anything. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre family just they had a grand old time with those teens.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last heavyweight championship round. There was 5 bouts. There was Superman versus Pinhead. Who do you think won that?
I would really say Superman in that case.
It was Pinhead.
Oh, really?
Angel to some, demon to others. What's Superman? He's just some punk from another planet.
Well, I guess there's that whole bullshit thing where like Superman is vulnerable to magic.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Wolverine versus the Blob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
Who do you
the
think
blob.
won?
The blob one.
Wrong.
What?
Yes, because Wolverine finally realized he met his match, and he enlisted the help of Kevin Dillon, much like Aquaman enlisted the help of
Okay.
Howard Forrester. And with Kevin Dillon's help, almost
Yeah.
anything is possible.
Yeah, I did read about that. I must have forgotten it though. Yeah.
Can you imagine Wolverine and Kevin Dillon in a fight, in a team up book? That would be magic. The core X-Men versus the Near Dark family.
Really think I really think that the X-Men would just get, like Storm alone
Yeah?
would just, oh hey, you know what? No, it's not. I guess she can't really control night and day. But like she would just fuck them up so bad. Like just Storm alone would just kill everyone.
It's true. Like you really had it. It was
Yeah.
Storm. Storm did it.
Yeah.
But it was really entertaining when it went down because
I guess so.
Jesse and Diamondback, the whole gang, they really made a meal out of their failure.
I would just really like to see like the X-Men's Blackbird chase an RV.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
just like I don't know what you would even do.
That would be
with-
great.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last two, Captain America versus the spaceship from Event Horizon.
I'm gonna give it to the spaceship. I don't think Private Rogers, or I guess Captain Rogers. I guess Captain Rogers by that point. I don't think he would stand a chance up there.
He actually whipped them all into shape.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yeah.
And it's like a regular functioning.
It's a regular functioning group
Like
of
transport
transport
again.
beasts.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last
Cool.
one, Batman versus Herbert West.
I really think that Batman would just fuck that guy's shit up. Like just like as soon as Herbert West just started like running his mouth for whatever reason, like Batman would like the Reanimator movie,
Yeah.
like and instead of the Daniel character, it was like Bruce
Batman,
Wayne,
yeah.
a la Batman.
Uh-huh.
Like as soon as Herbert West like moved into Wayne Manor
Yes.
and was being a dick, like Bruce Wayne would just shatter his jaw, and then that would basically be the movie.
Yeah. You'd
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
But it's not
Right.
it's not the way it went down.
Oh wow.
For all of Herbert's jibber jabber, he was able to back his shit up in the end with his just pure tenacity kept him going.
Yeah, and Batman, knowing that he met his match,
Yeah, eventually just folded. He just
It
buckled
just-
like a belt in the end
Yeah.
against Herbert's prowess. So that's that.
well, that was very interesting and informative.
Yes, thank you.
I thought I knew a lot about that stuff, but apparently I was mistaken.
You didn't
there was
do
a
too
lot
bad.
Yeah, it was all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Sorry, the other one that I just wanted to mention
Mhm.
really fast is Strike Force Morituri.
Oh, you told me about this. I've never read this.
It's a Marvel book.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically these aliens go around attacking planets and just basically take their shit. Like they just want to like ransack them for resources and like trinkets,
Yeah.
and then basically kill everybody and then take off.
Okay.
And so the U.S. government has developed a program that will give teenagers are the only ones strong enough, like
Mhm.
whose bodies are strong enough to actually, get the serum and
Okay.
possibly fight off any negative side effects.
Mm-hmm.
But to give teenagers superpowers, the superpowers are totally random,
Mm-hmm.
and they only last for a year. Within a year you're gonna die.
Okay. It just burned you
Uh,
out.
you literally explode.
Okay.
And your power goes everywhere.
Okay.
And it's a really, really freaking cool book.
It sounds cool.
There's all of this, like all of these teens have like some really heavy questions with each other, especially after they get the serum. It's like, do I want to die? Like, like I don't know if there's this one character who, she's a woman, like she was never popular, like no boys ever liked her, like anything like that, and then she becomes this sort of superhero celebrity, and she's loving life.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to die now. And then of course, like they all die. So like after like a year of the book being out, the next team is all like it's a totally new team of characters. It's really, really cool. But there are definitely a lot of horror elements in there, especially with the aliens just being as brutal as they are, and
crazy.
Just
cool.
sort of like this mortality sort of hanging over everyone's heads. Like it's
when did this book
really,
come out?
really cool. It was in the 80s.
Okay.
It was in sort of like mid to late 80s. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. The only thing is that the like the font that the aliens use is really it's really difficult to read at first.
So they're trying out some new things with the
kind of got to get
facets.
into it a little bit,
All
but
right.
it's a really, really cool series. And
what's it called? Moratorium Starboner.
Strike Force Moratorium.
Strike Force Moratorium.
But they will be re-releasing it again as Moratori Starboner or whatever it was you said.
Right on.
I have it on good authority that they will be re-releasing it as Moratori Starboner. But for now, you can find it under Strike Force Moratori. It's a really, really cool book, and I'm surprised they haven't. It's been optioned for years and years, but I'm surprised they haven't turned it into a television show yet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because yeah. So, anyways, I think that was cool.
Yeah, I think
that was great.
We nailed it with the horror and the comics.
There we go.
Right.
Okay, so
if you let us know what you think about the title matches or what your favorite horror comics were growing up.
Yeah.
Let us know
cool.
in the comments or tweet it to us at Waterloo GN, where Waterloo being, I don't know if we've ever mentioned it on the show before.
I don't feel like we have.
I don't think so either. But there's the story on the road to Waterloo is a comic book that Johnny Nightstick and I have actually created, and if you sing "Pretty Please" to us, then maybe we send you a few pages, maybe digitally, even let you check out the first issue.
Yeah,
and write to us at bighumandead@gmail.com.
Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be nice to hear from you.
Yeah,
and there's almost too many to mention, but there are a ton of very free, very cool, just even like horror web comics online. And that's always kind of fun to do if you just have even if you just have 20 minutes to kill at work before you go home, just to read a bunch.
And also
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and horror anthology comics are also really fun. They kind of I feel like they're good throwbacks to the old EC books. And our friend Danny Boyd made one based on Chillers, his movie that he made back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And like you had you came up with an album that was around the same time, Witchfinger, and I illustrated the story in the book.
I wrote a tribute album to Chillers, my favorite movie. That's how I connected with Danny over that, and then he let me know about his comic, and then I kind of made my album into a comic a little bit. And you did all of the you did the cover and the artwork in there.
Yeah.
And it's I'm still really proud of that record.
All right. Good night, buddy.
All right. Good night, Robert. Till we meet again next time. And thank you, everybody, for listening. All right. Good night.
Auf Wiedersehen.